Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? We're having a fantastic day. So we're going to go over the Eagles 2023 schedule. I am ready to go. I'm pretty excited about it. Damn, it's really hot in here. I don't know why. I got to take this off because I'm like dying. I'm dying right now. I'm dying to see this schedule. That's what I'm dying for. So let's go over this Philadelphia Eagles schedule, okay? Now, obviously, last year, 14 wins, Super Bowl loss. Going into some of the rumors to this schedule, only 3 games at 1 o'clock. You have a Christmas game. The Eagles are not playing in London. The Eagles are not playing in Germany. None of that is going on as of right now. So the toughest schedule for the Philadelphia Eagles, the number one hard schedule that we've been waiting for. And I guess here it is. Okay, we're going to go over this one by one. And like I said, I don't like schedule reviews. I think they're just like, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it because there's so much that goes into a season with injuries. Coaching's got to be 100%. And, you know, what your team looks like at the beginning of the season to the end of the season could be different, could be the same in a good or a bad way. You never know. So we're going to go over this whole entire schedule and, and kind of just talk about a few things. So let's get straight into all of it. Ready to go. Ready to go.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? So, yes, we are going to go into the Eagles schedule as of right now and just talk about all of it. And, this should be pretty crazy. Now, week 1. Okay, now week 1, 4:25 game on Sunday. This is going to be the first time against the Patriots. Jalen Hurts has never, ever played in Gillette Stadium yet. So this is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, this is a team that's really trying to find their way right now with the Patriots. I feel like this is a nice startup game for the Eagles to kind of find their identity, kind of get things rolling for the season. I feel like the Eagles will get a win here. So I'm not really worried about the Patriots that much, even with Mac Jones, like with the quarterback. There's been a lot of quarterback speculation. They want to trade him this offseason, and they make some random picks this year. So I don't know. I feel like when it regards to the Philadelphia Eagles, their roster, just what they kind of the matchups, I feel like the Eagles do really well in this game and get the first win of the season, first game. So that is a win. Second. Seems like we always play the Vikings on primetime every year. I actually went to the game last year. I thought it was awesome. Had a great time. Faced the Vikings week 2, Thursday night football. 8:15. So at least we get the short week done with because the Patriots on Sunday, and then we have a short week against the Vikings on Thursday night. Kirk Cousins on Thursday night. Now, I don't know if the Vikings have a short week. They probably do. I think, obviously, both teams have a short week. I don't think there's a bye week at week 2, or at least week 1, so I don't think that even exists. So both teams on a short week. Kirk Cousins primetime. Kind of know that he chokes in these games, and it's still a good roster. They got a receiver in the draft, and they're adding more to it, a young factor to their offense, but Kirk Cousins is really the final piece to that puzzle that I think is not going to play as well as everyone thinks he is. That defense is still pretty good over there. I think they'll do something, with good protection. I think we'll be fine, but I still feel like it's going to be usually these Eagles-Viking games are good battles too, so we did a good job to them last year. So last year though. I feel like it is going to be a win on Thursday night. This is the home opener. That's the whole nother thing. You don't lose your home opener, especially the crowd's gonna be rocking, the players are gonna be excited. It's just different when you play your first home game, especially for the new guys that are there. I think it's gonna be much electricity in that building at Lincoln Financial Field. So very excited about that. 2-0 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 3. Monday Night Football. So the Eagles get a little bit of extra time off, an extra day off, so it's not too bad. So they get a little bit of extra time off because you're playing from Thursday to Monday. So really it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then next week. So they have a little bit of extra time, a couple days to rest up and do and get ready for the Bucs. The Bucs really, between their quarterback situation right now and really since Tom Brady left, they've been really, with coaching changes, they've been really trying to dig themselves out of trying to get a better roster here, and I feel like the Eagles just have the better roster. We'll go to Tampa Bay on Monday night and get the work done, so I think that is a win for the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Week 4 against the Commanders. I think this is going to be the year where we actually sweep the Commanders. I mean, we lost them. This was the team that kind of broke our undefeated rank of the season because of self-inflicted wounds on the Eagles. Obviously, the face mask that should have been called on Goddard, the big catch from Quez Watkins. That was he got back up and then he ended up fumbling the ball. Should have won that game. Like I said, I don't want to have an undefeated season. It's impossible, and I don't even want it because there's so much pressure on a team that's undefeated. I feel like when we actually lost that game against the Commanders last year, I felt like they had some breathing room, like the pressure was off and they weren't undefeated anymore, and they had to really rebuild themselves again when they were going into their bye week, and then came out, faced the Colts, and looked a little sluggish. But, I feel like they will win this game week 4. This is at home, 1 o'clock, one of the 3, I think, 1 o'clock games. So they really don't have many 1 o'clock games going into it. So 4-0 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Week 5 against the LA Rams at 4:05. Now, this is another game that's really interesting, too, because I really like I think the match is great. Obviously, Aaron Donald, I think you got to really contain him, and I think the offensive line has enough to do it. We've had success with getting Aaron Donald, blocking him in the past, kind of running traps on him, kind of taking him out of the play. I think we'll be okay here. The Rams are really trying to dig themselves out of a hole from their Super Bowl win because really they made Howie Roseman type moves, but that were more expensive with no value, and they kind of dug themselves a deeper hole that they're trying to climb out of. So I feel like obviously roster-wise we're better. I feel like we will beat them. I feel like it will happen. So obviously we go to LA. I think they get a win here. That's 5-0 for the Philadelphia Eagles. I know it sounds crazy. Win. Yeah, I understand that. Last year I said the same thing, and I think we did a pretty good job. So we're going to go deeper into it. Week 6, the New York Jets, 425. Are the Philadelphia Eagles finally going to lose against the Jets in Eagles history? Eagles have never lost against the Jets. Now with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, the Jet fans are excited, and they got Breece Hall, which is a great back in the backfield, some receivers like Lazard, some of the other guys. Obviously that, Aaron Rodgers is really is really connected to. Now, this game is really going to come down to, like, are the Jets the real deal or not? Because even leading up to this game, either the Jets are going to play well or they're going to be, like, a hot mess. Because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the same. I don't care how bad he's played the last couple seasons with Green Bay. I feel like Aaron Rodgers has taken a step down, but I know he might prove me wrong. I don't know, but the Jets are going all in for a Super Bowl. I mean, you make a move for Aaron Rodgers and giving up all those picks and just spending as much money as possible, you're really trying to win. Every team's trying to win a Super Bowl, but they are really trying to do that's not how you build a team. I don't, Tom, at least with Tom Brady, they went to going to the Bucs, they made 2 Super Bowl appearances with 1 win. And obviously the Jets are really going all out with Aaron Rodgers and the weapons that he wants. And I feel like the Eagles do get a win here. This is actually a game I might go to because it's 40 minutes away from my house. So I don't have to drive 3 hours, but obviously I love going to Philly as well. So obviously the Vikings game and this game might be 2 games I might go to because I think it's going to be really exciting. So feel like the Eagles stay undefeated against the Jets in history. They get 6 wins for the season so far, 6-0 record as of right now. Now, this is where things are going to get a little crazy. Now, where is that due loss for the Eagles? I think going to staying home against Miami on it is a Sunday night game at 8:20. Okay, obviously, this is going to be the battle of obviously, Alabama's quarterbacks here, which is going to be talked about for the week. Obviously, those 2 quarterbacks in Tua and Hurts really have a lot of respect for each other. I think that's going to be a talked about matchup. Who's the better quarterback in this game? Obviously, you have to watch for Tyreek Hill. There's going to be a lot here. Obviously Tua's been dealing with injuries over the past, few years. He's been dealing with injuries. I think they picked up his option. I don't know if they gave him a new contract yet, but They went all in. The offensive line's pretty good. They have some good receivers there. I think the matchups are going to be good across the board. I think it's going to come down to the trenches in this game. And I feel like I'm not even saying I want them to lose this game. I just feel like there is a due loss at this point, and I feel like Sunday night at home, I know it hurts to lose on Sunday night, but this might be the game they actually lose. So I'm going to give it a loss here for the Philadelphia Eagles. So 6-1 for the Eagles as of right now. Now, Week 8, you're facing the Commanders again. 1 o'clock game, the second 1 o'clock game on the schedule as of right now. And I feel like they will get swept. I just feel like their roster's just not good enough. Their quarterback's not good enough. I just feel like it's going to be a sweep at the end of the day. We need to sweep them. We didn't sweep them last year. We made some self-inflicted wounds with our roster with the first game last year for us to still be undefeated, which we weren't. So I feel like this will be a win. So you're down to obviously 7-1 now, which is good. The Dallas Cowboys at home. Finally, both quarterbacks are going to be healthy because one quarterback faces the other backup. Another backup faces the other quarterback. We are finally going to have Dak Prescott, and we're going to have Jalen Hurts fully healthy for this game together playing against each other. So it should be a lot of fun. I have obviously the Eagles winning this game. I feel like, with the Dallas Cowboys, I'm interested to see what they're going to look like by week 9 of the season, see just what they look like in general. The Dallas Cowboys, their problem isn't the regular season. Their problem is the playoffs. That's their major problem. And that's what they're going to have to, because I think at the end of the day, the NFC East is going to be the strongest division in the NFC. I think it will be. I think Dallas and the Philadelphia Eagles will be probably two of the strongest teams, depending, what Dallas does with obviously getting Mazi Smith was a good pick for them to really, sponge up those blocks. And obviously, I think adding Brandon Cooks was a good move. Stephon Gilmore was a good move just for this year. It's not a future move, but it's a move just to really go for a championship this year. And I feel like the Eagles are going to be at home, and I feel like they're going to do a really good job. And I think they're going to beat them. I think they're going to beat them real good this year. So I have the Eagles being now at 8-1 now, going down the schedule. So that's what I have for the Dallas game at week 9. Now, week 10 is interesting. You have a bye week. I think this is the perfect bye week. I think Dallas has a bye week 6 or 7. I forgot. It's a little early. Week 10 bye week is perfect for the Eagles. So as much as this schedule maybe seems a little hard, I mean, so far I've actually been enjoying it as of right now. But the bye week at week 10 is perfect. It's dead middle of the season, and you really need to get guys healthy at this point. We don't know what's going to happen here with injuries. We don't know what this team's going to look like. But you come off a bye week to week 11, and you're facing KC. Okay? The Super Bowl rematch on Monday Night Football at 8:15. This one is really nice. I think the Eagles actually win this game. Originally, I had them losing this game because I didn't know Kansas City was on a bye week. The Kansas City Chiefs are on a bye week, week 10, the same as the Philadelphia Eagles. So there's no excuses here. No excuses at all. Both teams are going to have the same amount of time off. Extra study time where they could study each other very well. There's going to be plenty of content from each other's teams throughout the year that, they could take some pages out of the playbook. This is going to be a big year for Sean Desai as the new defensive coordinator. I'm not really worried about the offense that much. I'm more worried about the defense because now you got a new defensive coordinator. We don't know what this defense is going to look like by this time, what the record's going to be like by this time. But I feel like the Eagles will get the revenge at Arrowhead Stadium and get this win and get it going. So that's where I have it as of right now. So a win in KC would be perfect. And I could have them obviously you're playing in a different stadium too, which we're not playing in Arizona, so that's a whole nother thing too. So I think you get a win there. Week 12, I think this might be a loss for the Philadelphia Eagles at home against Buffalo at 4:25. This is a 4:25 game. Obviously, with the Bills right now, they are very hungry to get into a Super Bowl. They obviously flopped in the playoffs last year. A lot of fingers were pointed at each other. Stephon Diggs, was really pissed at his quarterback, at Josh Allen. A lot of moves could not be made by the Bills this past offseason just because at this point you're paying your quarterback a lot of money and the cap hits are astronomical. So the GM even had a comment about the cap space and how it just wouldn't work out, and because of these cap hits, and that's why Howie Roseman's a genius. So I feel like because you're due another loss at some point during the year, because maybe you have some injuries at this point in time or something like that, because they lost this game in a certain way. So obviously Bills have a good defense still, and maybe not much of a safety issue as they lost a couple players there, but I think they'll be fine. And that offense is high powered, man. They got a lot of weapons there. So it's gonna come down to the trenches this game, but I feel like they're due another loss here. I'm not saying that I want them to lose, or trust me, I want them to win every single game, but I'm just being, fair to the schedule of where I think they could lose here. Now that's week 12. Week 13, San Francisco comes to Philadelphia again. And, they're going to have a lot of juice. They're going to walk in. I don't care if they got Javon Hargrave or whatnot. I could care less because you can run on that team. Lane Johnson had a torn abductor and took care and did a fantastic job in that game. And they'll have a quarterback, so now they won't have excuses. I want to shut them up even more this game. I think Dallas and Philly, really, it's weird because I think, for Dallas and Philly fans right now, they are jointed together as a team because they hate this fan base. Because I didn't realize how bad that fan base was after the NFC Championship game. And this lasted for weeks and weeks. And obviously from a week ago, more was said from every single player, especially, what's his name? I don't even know. I don't even care to even think about that team right now. So the Eagles are going to have more weapons. They're going to be more dominant. And I don't care what quarterback they have behind there. We don't even know what Purdy's going to look like. Now with the blueprint, the league has a blueprint on Purdy because they, on a 6th-round pick, they're going to put all their chips in the one basket. And you better hope this kid can play. You better hope that this kid is the real deal. That's all I got to say right now. So who knows? Maybe Purdy won't be the quarterback. Maybe it'll be Trey Lance. I don't know. You never know what could happen here, but I think the Eagles come out with a win right there. Week 14 against the Dallas Cowboys, another interesting game. Obviously, it's neutral territory in Dallas for Eagles and Cowboy fans. I feel like Dallas will get swept this year on Sunday Night Football. Will be the last game we face them this year. I feel like they will get swept. I'm not sweating it. I feel like the Eagles will be prepared for a second time. Who knows what both of these teams are going to look like, but obviously that's just my guess of what's going to happen here. So I feel like the Eagles will sweep Washington. I feel like they will sweep the Dallas Cowboys as well. So, Week 15, Seattle. I think this is a team right now that could beat Seattle and finally beat Seattle. We haven't beat Seattle in a while. It has been a good amount of time since it's happened. This is a 425 game. Obviously getting JSN, pair him up in that wide receiver core was a really good pick for them. But obviously in a quarterback situation, they extended Geno Smith. And, I'm really proud of Geno for what he's done and kind of climbing back up and kind of reviving his career a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be enough because he is not perfect. I think the Eagles get pressure on him. And obviously, Geno could run. I mean, he's got that athletic ability too. I feel like the Eagles will play better, and I feel like they will get this win. Now, getting into week 16 of the season against the Giants on Christmas. This is going to be interesting because it's on Christmas, which I'm actually happy it's not on Christmas Eve. I more celebrate Christmas Eve than Christmas. Christmas, you open your gifts, the day is done, and you have a football game to watch. So a lot to do on Christmas, which is great. By this time at week 16, we have to look at the first seed, what the Eagles look like with injuries. Do they need to play everybody? We're going to find out. If the Eagles already clinched by this time, obviously you're probably not going to be playing everybody for these next 3 games. Obviously, for the first seed last year, they could have won the first seed like 3-4 games early last year, and they couldn't do it because obviously Jalen Hurts was out for a week or two, whatever it was, and Minshew had to take over for a couple games, and it just kind of ruined the flow of what this offense was capable of, and it was just, it was so ridiculous how much more rest the Eagles could have had at the end of the year last year. But hopefully this isn't the case. Hopefully by this time the Eagles clinch first seed, and they don't have to play everybody. Obviously you'll play some guys. So I'm going to say this is a win for the Eagles. I'm not afraid of the New York Giants, guys. I'm not. You know what? Last year's last year, but, you know, it was already embarrassing enough. We beat them 3 times, and especially in the divisional playoff game. Okay, this year, what did they do offensively to get their team better? To be honest, like, really, like, I thought they drafted pretty good. You know, I think their draft was pretty good. They got that they got that receiver in there, that fast receiver that I actually did like. But, you know, what is he going to do in his first year, you know, as a mid-round pick, whatever the case may be with him? You know, I don't think they have really good weapons. I mean, that Waller is an injury-prone tight end. I mean, you got Slayton. You got Shepard that hasn't played in a season and a half. Like, you just paid your quarterback a lot of money, and they have a good coaching staff over there, but they really didn't do much of anything right now. They really didn't make that offense like, oh my God, like the Eagles signed Jalen Hurts, and before they even signed him, they put so many weapons around him. They drafted first round receivers. They went all out and got AJ Brown. Like with Daniel Jones getting paid, what did they really surround themselves with? And, you know, Barkley's holding out right now, which he wants, you know, a bigger contract as a running back. He didn't sign his franchise tag. Dexter Lawrence just got hurt, and that guy's a cheeseburger away from really just not doing much of anything because that guy gets tired after 2 plays straight. So I think the defense is okay. It's not great. You know, I still think they need more cornerbacks. They had a couple free agent signings, but nothing. You know, maybe a good linebacker. You know, they didn't really add too much. Really, offensively, they don't scare me at all. So I feel like the Eagles at home on Christmas, who knows if they have to have their starters in or not. At this point, you know, we'll see. But I'll say it's a win. I'll say it's a win if they're starting guys. I'll say it's a win as of right now. So that's your Christmas game. Now, December 31st, Week 17, as much as I think the Eagles are probably going to already have the first seed by this point, and they want to get guys healthy because a couple guys will probably be injured. Really, the only injuries we really had last year were Goddard, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and really Jalen Hurts for a couple weeks. I mean, really, they didn't deal with that much last year, so must be doing a real good job in the health department, keeping these guys recovered, keeping these guys from getting injured too much. So I thought injury-wise, the Eagles did okay. Like, obviously, you know, when you lose Dallas Goedert, I think they did well because they used Devontae Smith more and attacked with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown a lot more together instead of using Devontae Smith for the short field stuff, which I couldn't stand. Then you lose Chauncey, or no, it was Avonte Maddox as well. They lost Avonte Maddox. That was a big one because Josiah Scott got snaps, and, you know, there's some games that looked real ugly with him, and there were some games that looked good with him too, but obviously that defense around him did a good job. This pressure from this defensive line did a really good job. So as much as I really don't want to, I feel like the Eagles can win against the Cardinals. I feel like they're going to be resting players this game. I want to face Jonathan Gannon so bad. Like this, we're going to be at, Jonathan Gannon is coming to Philadelphia. He's going to come to Philadelphia. And I'm telling you right now, like, from the reports that we've seen, I'm telling you, I don't care what this guy did the whole entire year for us, because last year was a wasted year. We wasted a defensive coordinator. We wasted that job last year. As much as we had 14 wins and people were telling me about Jonathan Gannon, no, don't worry about Jonathan Gannon. He's fine. We're winning. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, there was something up about that guy the whole entire year, and I just knew it. I knew it, and I was telling everybody that, and people were telling me to relax, so don't tell me to relax anymore. When I sense something, when I have a gut feeling or I sense something, that means it's probably going to go in that direction. And I'm telling you, after that Arizona game when he got in trouble for the illegal tampering, we had to pay the price for giving him a 5th-round pick for that, which I don't know why it's our fault at the end of the day. But I'm telling you, man, I don't want the Cards to beat us just for the sake of it, but because they could be working for a playoff spot. I don't know. The Cardinals could be a horrible team. Defensively, I don't have them doing much of anything. I'm sorry, but their defense over there, nah, not happening. And I've noticed that every Eagles player that played here is going over there. Mostly everybody. They signed Kaiser White. They signed, Zach Pascal's there now. Like, they literally just grabbed as many guys as possible for that team. It's ridiculous. I want revenge badly, but at the same time, we're probably going to be already in the first seed already, probably waiting for the playoffs. And hopefully by this time we don't have to play this game. But if we had to play this game for first seed, if we still didn't clinch it yet, I have no problem putting in everybody to stop the Cardinals at home. And I hope Jonathan Gannon gets booed at. I'm just ready. I'm ready to go for that game. Like I said. And obviously the last game is against the Giants. So to be determined, these games usually because of obviously playoffs and because of rankings and stuff like that, what teams are going where, it just depends on how they want to flex some games. So that game will most likely get flexed somewhere there. So overall for the Philadelphia Eagles with losses, with a loss, obviously in Miami, a loss with the Bills, and I think there could be one more there just because they're not playing everybody. So let's say they lose against the Cardinals or something like that. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of in between 13 to 14 wins again for the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? They're either going to lose 2 or 3 games this year in the 2023 season. I'm not overreacting. Obviously, I don't like doing schedule reviews because they're so, like, non-existently not accurate, because you got to watch out for injuries and when they're going to be pulling players for the playoffs and how good is this coaching staff going to be. Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, he talked great at his press conference, but like I said, I got to see it on the field regardless. So definitely a lot here to kind of go over a little bit, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be really good. I'm pumped about it. Between 13 to 14 wins is where I have it. And whether you agree with me or not, where do you think our due loss is going to be? What do you think the losses for the Philadelphia Eagles are going to fall to? How do you feel about the schedule? So really at the end of the day, when you look at it, you have 3 1 o'clock games. That's it. You got 3 of them. You have 3 1 o'clock games as of right now. You're on prime time 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 primetime games, and I think you're going to have a 6th primetime game in here. I think the Eagles are going to get flexed to another primetime game. So I think the Eagles overall are going to have 6 primetime games this year. The Eagles play at 1 o'clock 3 times. I'm making sure I'm not wrong on that. There's 1, there's 2, and I'm only seeing 2. I'm only seeing 2 1 o'clock games. Never mind. Cardinals, Washington. Oh, no, there is 3. Cardinals. All right, you're facing Washington twice on 1 o'clock. Cardinals at 1 o'clock as well. 3 1 o'clock games. The rest of them are 4:30 to primetime, which is kind of crazy. So a good bye at Week 10, which is really nice. Week 10 bye week is great. Dead middle I'm glad that at least if they give us the hardest schedule, supposedly, that we get that right in the middle bye week. Perfect bye week for the Eagles. From week 1 to week 2, Patriots to obviously the Vikings. You have a game on Sunday to a game on Thursday. So we're going to have a busy week as Eagles fans because we're going to be the first, so we're going to be obviously very busy, a short week. Get the short week out of the way. Thank you for that. You know what I mean? So I'm happy about that. So at least you get a little bit of a short week there. And then obviously from your primetime games, obviously from Monday night on to the Washington game is another week where they'll be good to go. So I think really where the schedule kind of takes a little bit of a turn where it's going to be tough is after the bye week, really. Because really from week 1 to week 9, I'm not really worrying too much. I feel like the Eagles can get 8 to 9 wins. I think they could be 8-1 by the bye week, really. I think they will. By the bye week and then kind of after the bye week with Kansas City, Buffalo, San Fran, you're going to be facing some good teams. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the Eagles have to be. I think from weeks 1 to 9, they really have to show out. And then by that bye week, they rest up and they get ready. Both Kansas City and the Eagles have a bye week, and they're coming off of the same bye week, week 10. Thank God, because at least that's more fair at the end of the day. But obviously, KC, Buffalo, San Fran, face the Cowboys on Sunday night. It's a big one. And then your last 3 with, obviously, Seattle, obviously, the Giants and the Cardinals and the Giants again. So those 4 games, we're going to find out where they are with the first seed, what the injuries look like. You know, because like I said, like we don't know what this team is going to look like all year, but at the same time, you got to be realistic with how our defense looks. What injuries do you have? It all comes into account at the end of the day when you see all that stuff. So that's really all I got to talk about with this schedule. I hope you guys definitely enjoyed. I know this was a long video, but I just wanted to go over this whole entire thing. I know it's really long. But to reminisce on it and give you 30 minutes of content. So why not? The longest video I probably ever made. But it's a schedule we have to talk about. I just don't want to be like, oh, win, loss. All right, have a good day. Video's over. You know, so we will have a live stream soon and talk about all this. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the schedule? Do you think this schedule is actually a hard schedule? Or do you think, like, this is a pretty good schedule for a first place NFC hard schedule for the Philadelphia Eagles? You guys let me know in the comment section below, and let me know on other things. If you guys lasted this long too in this video, if you lasted 30 minutes, I'd be shocked. But hey, you never know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well to help the channel a lot. I do appreciate it so much. A lot of updates in the next couple weeks. Very excited, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.